Hi everyone, it's Marcie Besecker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I am going to share a fun sneak peek with you for the Butterfly Bouquet. And it is a super cute set that I cannot stop playing with. So I know that we talked about having all of these different butterfly sets, and I'm trying to get this on again and it puts me on here as a customer. I don't know why it does that, but so we all have a lot of butterfly sets and flower sets, and there are certain things that come out you're like, oh, I already have enough of that, hearts, and but when I saw this butterfly set, I thought this looked like such a great set because I really like the one big die and the one big stamp set. So I was super excited when this came out and I just had to play with it. So I did a lot of playing with it, but I have a couple of announcements about it that I want to share with you. So I'm going to share a little bit about that. We're just going to, while people are getting on, I just want to share a few things with you. Don't forget about my February special. So with a host code, if you order $50 or more, you will get the PDF for these cute little chicks. And if you buy either one of these, I will send you the kits for these cards plus a bonus card and the PDF. So that's something to think about. You still have time if you're interested in the paper pumpkin. And that's going to be coming up on the 10th. You need to order this before the 10th. That way you can, or by the 10th, so that you could get that if you're interested in it. All right, so let's just get busy. There's a couple of quick little announcements I want to make. So if you go online and you notice that there are some back order items, there's kind of two different ways. If it's a back order item, you can still purchase the item. It will just come in when it's available. Hi, Linda, welcome. So when your item is available, it'll just get shipped to you. So you can still get it ordered. So what we can see on the back is maybe 538 are needed, but 3,000 are coming in. So obviously you must know a company, it's really hard to gauge what's going to sell, what's not, what's going to be a big hit, what's not. And so they kind of gauge it. And obviously the chicks are going crazy. So we've sold a ton of them. And so one of the sets is on back order. And I thought I printed my back order, but I guess I didn't. No, I don't think I did because I just took this off the printer. Well, the chick, one of the chick sets is on back order. Hello, Steph. Hi, Kathy. But that's okay. You're going to get it. They're on their way. So don't worry about it. The other thing about back orders are if you look at a bundle and you're interested in, let's say, the fine art or art gallery bundle, and it says it's not available, make sure you look at the items because it may just be the gold foil that's not available or the charms that aren't available. There's items in each bundle that if one of the items in that bundle is not available, the bundle will not be available. So you can still order the bundle with the stamps and the dies, and then you can order the paper and the other items and get 10% still on your stamps and dies, but you might just have one little item that's not available. Oh, Susan, that sounds terrible. It's going to be 66 here today. Sorry. Hi, Jennifer, Kayleen, Gail, Cheryl, Jeannie. Welcome, welcome, everybody. So, I know football is probably going on. Honestly, I don't know when it starts. My husband's snowboarding. And I said he snowboarded yesterday. He didn't snowboard. He golfed yesterday. He's snowboarding today. But we're recording it because I want to see John Travolta dance with his daughter. That's why I'm recording it. So, hello, hello. I'm so glad everybody's here. So, anyway, as I mentioned, so with back orders, go ahead and order it. It's going to come to you as soon as it's available. And you're still going to get it in your bundle, your order. You're still going to be able to get your celebration items and all of that good stuff. So it comes faster than you know. But like I said, if it's a suite you're ordering, make sure you look at the items and see what's out of stock. It could just be an embellishment or something like that that you can get later, but at least you can start playing with the stamps and dies. The other thing I want to share with you really quickly, and it's about our butterfly set we're playing with today. Oh, Kayleen, I know. I had somebody else post today about the weather being so cold, and I'm like, sorry. Okay, so the butterfly bouquet, and I showed you guys this already, just on a flyer on my one of my slides here. It's a little harder to read, but the thing I want to point out to you is it says exclusive and early release. So I want to explain that to you. Okay, so exclusive and early. Early release is our bundle. So our stamps and dies are an early release. Okay, and this is a lot of dies that you get with this set, and we're going to look at those closely. The exclusive are the papers. And I'm going to show you the papers close up today, and we're going to play with some stuff. We are going to create a card, but I'm just going to show you a bunch about the set also. But the papers are just only available while supplies last. I know that's really hard to read right there, but it's while supplies last. So don't wait. If you need to wait for the bundle and not get it right away, or if you're a customer and you can't get it, you know, obviously this isn't available till March 2nd for customers. But if you can't get this right away, at least get your papers. Oh, Jennifer, thanks. I'm glad you're going to love it. So I ordered the maximum papers I could because the papers are amazing. But just so you know, don't wait on the papers. As soon as they're available, get them so you can have them, okay? All right, so let's just get busy. I'm going to show you. Oh, gosh, you guys. So normally I got my keyboard here because I don't know why. Hi, Rio. I've missed you. So here is the butterfly. Here are the dies. I have the dies on 2 separate panels, okay? Because we have our intricate dies here that we can cut out, and I've got a few things I'm going to show you. Let me just get to them. So this is what I did a little bit of playing around. I did some watercolor paper, and then I did just some cardstock. So that's kind of one of the things that I did. The other thing I did is I took some paper, so on the other side of this paper, and then I also colored this in because, let me pull it out. I also did some watercoloring just to kind of play around with some like colors that are in the set. Okay, so I did a little bit of this just so we can kind of play with the watercolor. And this is one of the sheets I did. This was a multicolor one. All right, and then I did the black. And what I did is I stamped in black with my Stamparatus, and then I did clear embossing on top of it. So that's just kind of that idea. And so let me just move these out of the way. So there's some different ideas here. This is on the back of cardstock. This was kind of a marble look, and I'll show you that paper. Again, I did some watercoloring looks, so just some different looks here. So you could just kind of put those on your card and just kind of have fun, or pop it up on top of a package, or, you know, whatever. So there's some different ideas what we did. So this is this. This could be solid images of your watercolor, which is like here in the background. Oops, like this. I just put like 4 of them, I think, on a piece of watercolor paper. And then, of course, you could stamp them and then also cut them out. And there's a lot of options for you to do. Now, we're also going to look at these over here. So let me just set those aside. So I want to show you the paper first. So this is my first package of paper. I think I have 3 sheets left in there. So that is my first package of paper. So then I opened up the second package of paper because I wanted to pull out the front. And so there's 8 sheets here. So my first thing I did was I die cut out here. And that is what got this. I stamped on this. Well, then silly me, as much as I love this, I love this more. Because you can take your large die and cut these out. Okay, so I cut out 2 packages minus 2 sheets of these. So 16, 14 sheets of these. And then this is not all of it. This is only what I have left. And I'll show you what I did. But these are all the butterflies that I have left after after creating 40 cards. Okay, so I still have all of these left over. And then again, on the other side is that pretty color there. So you could just take something like this and you could take your little image. This is watercolor paper, and just find that little stamp. I think it's a pink one right here. And you could just add your little image on top, or you can turn it over and then just do it on the back. So there's all kinds of options for you. Okay. So this is what I have left. So let me show you what I did. I'm kind of wanting to explain all this a little bit ahead of time so you can kind of see all the different options that you have. Yes, Carol, this is the new one. So the stamp set is called Butterfly Brilliance. The dies are called Brilliant Wings. And the whole bundle is called Butterfly Bouquet, I believe it is. Butterfly Bouquet. All right, so let's show you all the paper. Since this is a full pack, I'll just show you this one. So this is one. That's on the other side. Those are so pretty. Okay, let me move this over. I haven't even put these in their little packages yet that I like to make. Oh, Tanya, thank you. It's very sweet of you. And then we have this one. I really like this one. I can't wait to show you what I did. Okay, so we have this one. Oops, let me overlay them a little bit so you can see. Okay, here we go. Hi, Tashana. And then the last one, which I think is so pretty. Oh yeah, you guys are going to want this paper, and more than just one, because like I said, this is my first package and I'm going to show you what I did, but this is all I had left. And I could have done this, except I didn't have enough cardstock cut, so I just decided to stop. I kind of needed to make dinner. Okay, so here's the paper. It's so pretty. All right, so let me put this back in here and then show you a couple of examples of cards I did, and then we're going to create one. We're also going to play with this wood paper here. It's birch. This also comes in the suite. Hi, Olivia. I don't know if you can see, but it's got a little bit of a texture right there. You can see I cut a little piece off right there. This is Natural Touch specialty paper, and you get 2 sheets. It's $5, and it's like a birch. So it's even printed on the other side, but it's more, I don't know why, when I go up close, you guys can't see, but it's kind of a paper on this side. But look what I did. I put it through our pine wood planks folder, and then this is what I got. So I think this would be really cool for a lot of different projects maybe. I did the same, Feline. So, and then of course you've got the color on the back, this one, and it just kind of looks like so saffron, but it's got like a texture to it. But I thought that looked kind of cool too. So either one looks really cool. And we're going to do a little die cutting on this little plank piece here. So we'll set that aside. So now let me show you some cards that I did. I did them all the same. This is kind of one of my first fancy folds I learned, but I really love it. And so, of course, all the measurements and everything, I'll give them to you as we go, but they'll also be on my blog later today when I get the link for the video and move it over there. So this one, I added some Wink of Stella, and we'll add Wink of Stella. I'll show you how I do it on the card we're going to create today. But this, again, all the butterflies, I think there's only a couple butterflies I did differently, but this is just from the cardstock. And so I added a piece on the inside. All right, so there's one. I just kind of decided to change up the patterns. I did the larger butterflies over here, the smaller over there. And I thought adding 2 butterflies kind of makes these the focal point. I have not put my rhinestones on everything yet. I did on this one, but I have not put them on everything yet. So there's that one. I thought this one was really pretty. I really like this paper and these colors together. Okay, now the color in the package is Bermuda Bay, but I use Coastal Cabana. I wanted a lighter springy color, and I thought it went along just fine. So that's kind of one of my tips too, is kind of look at your colors and see. Like these are darker colors, but you might have, you might add saffron in, it's just kind of a different feel to it. Thank you, Nola. Mine too, Rio. I really like this one. I just need to finish the rest of them up and kind of add like I did do some more with sequins, but I really do like the Wink of Stella on there. This one, I did do the ink coloring, and I'm going to say, next time, I think because of the rhinestones and just this color pattern, I may do it in silver. I think this is more of a light, springy, airy card, and I think I would have preferred to do a lighter card, and I didn't even like fold my wings or anything on this one yet. So I'm just kind of trying some different things. Now this one is one I did add Wink of Stella on the wings. And I did do the watercolor paper on top and underneath. Okay, so these cards, you guys, were so easy. I cut a bunch of paper out this size and on the inside. I tried to at least have this match this or this for the most part until I got to the end, and I might have added more of a solid color like this one was on some of them. Okay, so just to kind of give you an idea, this was so fast and easy. That's why I did 40 of them. And then I really like this one too, with just the one sweet little butterfly, because I really like this paper. Okay, and now I'm going to show you another one of my favorites, and that is what we're going to create. So let's just get busy. The sentiment, you guys, I've not gotten that far yet. Thank you. Is from the Butterfly Gala. I figured I might as well bring out another butterfly set, right? So, and I love the sentiments, a little note, just because. I like that, especially if I'm doing bulk cards, because I can add anything on the inside. I can add happy birthday or whatever. So I have to say this set is a definite must-have butterfly set. I also did the Stitched So Sweetly, again, one of my favorite die sets for the sentiment, but we are going to change this up a bit. So I'm going to show you that also. So let's move this aside. So first, let's take our little piece of paper and check out what these little dies are on here, and then we're going to start our card. I want to, oh, here it is, my machine. Tashana, that's my job. All right, so we're just going to put this on here. Let's try these little things. We've got the little brick. We've got these hashtags. And of course, these are just little solid butterflies if you wanted to add just little tiny ones. But I want to try these 3 items, so let's just check them out. And we're just going to put them on this paper just to see what it does. Why not, right? I kind of pre-cut out my sentiment dies and things like that for the card. I am going to show you how I cut the sentiment out, or the paper. All right, so this one just gives us some hashtaggy marks, which is kind of a cool, I think this would be really neat for like the ground on a project maybe. And then I also like this because you could use this as a stencil. So let's just bring in a piece of scratch paper. And I hate calling my Whisper White scratch paper because it's really not, but that's okay. And I'm going to bring in red. I don't know if it's going to work because this has been sitting on my shelf. It probably doesn't have much left on it. But it probably has enough to just give us the idea. So I'm just going to keep going like this. And then you see how we have our little brick. Now that's faded, very faded, because this has been not inked recently. But this would be a really cute background. And then you could just move your top dies, your top marks up, and just keep going and make like just a brick image, a faint brick image in the background. Look how fun that is. Yeah, it's a footpath. And like I said, this right here I think would be really fun to add. I think this would be really kind of cool with the chickens too. Same with this. I think you could take a darker and you could either use that as a template, or I think this would be fun to create little butterfly, you know, I don't know what you would call that, but you know what I'm talking about. Like the little flurries, the little butterfly flurries in the air, and maybe put some glimmer paper behind it or something fun. Or if you're really ambitious, like I'm not, these could be little bricks. You could take these off, do it out of red, and then make little bricks out of them. But anyway, there's all kinds of things we could probably come up with, right? All right, so that is our little show and tell. Oh, this is where I was looking for. Our little show and tell there on what those dies are. I'll finish cleaning those out later. So that kind of explains that. Now let's get busy with our fun card. All right. All right, everybody. So the first thing I want to show you is I made a little diagram here on how I cut my paper. And after I made this diagram, I came up with an even better way. So I'm going to show you. So right here, you're cutting this off because this is the 6x6 paper, and we need it at 5.5, right? Because our card is, the paper would be 5 and, 5.25. So we would need 5.25, so we can just cut the rest off. Kayleen, that's exactly right. That way you can keep it and keep reusing it. That's perfect. So I would cut off my part at the bottom, but I'm going to go ahead and do it like this time because that's how I have it. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not. So let me show you. I'm going to have our card paper going this way because I need 5.5. Otherwise, you're going to have to cut both of these separately. And we already know we need to cut this unless you need this big piece for something. So what I'm going to do is bring my trimmer in. We just need this to be 5.25. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut that off. And we can keep this for the side. We can keep this for anything, something else. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece at 1 7/8. All right, and all the measurements are going to be on my blog. But the 1 7/8 is going to be this piece right here. Okay, so 1 7/8. All right, and now we need a piece that is 3.25. So I'm just going to slide it down and do 3.25 by 4.5, and that's the front panel. All right, so now you have this piece here, and you have this piece here. And now this piece you can put inside your card, because this is the same as this. It's going to go inside on your panel. So this is all you have left, and you could use this on the inside of a card, or even, you know, if it's landscape, whatever. So I would not throw these away. You can also turn them over and use them for something else. That's how I have my little package over here full of pieces. Is I put these in here and left that there. All right. And I'll show you these in a little while. Those are still cards I'm finishing up. I still need to add sequins and things on them. Hi, Erin. We just kind of went over some tips and tricks. Oh, Debbie, thank you so much. We're just getting ready. So now this is our measurements, and you guys will also get this on my blog. This will be on there. But what you'll notice is we did cut here, which is obviously the 3/4 off because we only need the 5.25. Okay. All right. So we're going to pull in our card base. And we are going to score at 2 1/8 and 4.25. All right, so there's our card, your regular card base. So it's the 8.5 by 5.5, and scored at 2 1/8 and 4.25. All right, the Whisper White piece that oh wait, let me grab my paper. So this one here is your card panel, and this piece is 4 by 5.25. Oh wait, I'm wrong, sorry. This is 4 by 5.25, which is going to go on the inside, your Whisper White. And so let's just go ahead and adhere our inside piece. Now this butterfly looks upside down because he's flying. These are all right side up, and this is how that paper was, remember, when we cut it. So I'm just going to go ahead and add put my seal on there. We're going to add this on the inside here, so now we don't lose our piece of paper or use it for scratch paper. It's already cut. So I like to kind of get that done right away. And I'm just trimming it nice and even, and I'm going to set that aside. Now we're going to take our card base. I like to fold where the mountain's on the inside and the valley's on the outside. It's kind of a preference, but it's totally up to what you want to do. And then just fold that back. Oh wait, what happened here? Let me measure this because this seems wrong. I want to make sure I have the right size paper. 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. Oh, my paper is short. Look at that. I grabbed the wrong. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, hold on. 2 1/8. Repeat. Okay, hold on. I think I did 2 1/4. That's where I messed up. So we're going to do 5 1/2. All right, let's try this again. It wouldn't be a video if I didn't screw up, right? 2 1/8. Let's try this again. And 4 1/4. Okay, I think I just was talking and measured wrong, I think. So let's try this again. All right. There we go. So 5 1/2, 8 1/2, scored it 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. All right, so there we go. And now you're bringing in this piece here, which is 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. Again, this will all be on my blog. Fleen, you know what? A lot of people ask me about creating videos and all that, and I'm like, I do not do any editing. You get me how it is, as if we were just sitting here crafting along, and I try to fix my mistakes, and if I can't, oh well, we'll just have to figure it out. But most of the time it works out okay. Oh, Chris, no problem. Thanks for joining. Okay, so again, this is, we measured this already. It's 3 1/4 and 4 1/2. So we're just gonna put that on there. This is how easy this card is, you guys. Now we're gonna bring in this panel. Now you could add another layer under this to give it just some extra, but I really didn't think we needed to. So you're getting it right off the, hot off the press, DSP. Wow. We're just gonna add that on here. This card goes together so quickly and easily. Now, when I add my glue here, I'm going to add the inside first. That's sliding underneath my mat here. All right. I'm still trying to get used to adjusting with my camera moving over to the left. Sorry. I'll get it eventually. All right, so we're going to add this. And the reason I like to add it is because I kind of gauge it to where my top piece is. Some people like to align their top piece with the white piece, and I don't. I did on one. I think I did on this one, but it just looked really off to me. So then I changed it to this, where you can see the white, which I have no problem with. I kind of liked the way I did that, because you're going to have plenty of space to write right here. Whereas if it's all the way to the edge, yes, you get that much more, but who's going to go that close to the line? I just kind of liked that this looked centered a little bit better. So that's what I chose to do. All right, so now saying that, I make sure I have my card the right way, and I just kind of get an idea. So I'm just kind of getting an idea up to that point. So I want to glue. Let me make sure my glue's open here. All right, so this is the top. And I just kind of get an idea of how far in. And I don't go all the way to the edge that I need, okay? And that's probably a lot of glue, but let me show you what I do. I kind of start it here and then slide it, just so I make sure if I didn't go far enough over on my panel, sliding that over is going to put some glue over here. Okay, so I just want to make sure it's straight, and that's kind of why I like to do the liquid. And I don't mind if it's a little closer to the top or the bottom. I'm more concerned with this way. And then you'll not end up with glue there if you just kind of slide it over and get an idea of where your centerpiece is. Yeah, I try not to be so symmetrical, um, because I don't know, I like this centered, but there's certain things that I don't have to have completely even on one side or the other. So, all right, so we're going to set that aside for right now. And I'm going to bring in our labels. And of course, these again are from Stitch So Sweetly. It's not the smallest, but the next two up pieces. And I have my little note sentiment. So we're just going to cut this, or cut it. We're going to first stamp it without my head in the way, I hope. So there's a little note. Love, love this. Sometimes I buy a stamp set just for the sentiment. I do not always buy the stamp set for the images. Or sometimes I bypass something and then I think, where did they get that sentiment? And then I realize it's on a stamp set I don't have. And then I'm like, no, gotta have it. All right, so I just use scissors at this point, and I go right inside the little marks right here. And you could just use your trimmer if you want. It would probably be straighter because I'm not doing such a straight job right now. So let's just do that. That would just be so much smarter. All right, I can't reach it. So what I'm going to do is take a Post-it note. Of course, I have tiny, tiny Post-it notes right here. All right, let me grab a set here. All right, so I'm going to grab this Post-it note, and I'm just going to slide it in and make sure it's nice and straight. All right, and now I'm going to take it and turn it. And then take it and turn it. And these Post-it notes are something new I found. They are translucent. They're see-through. So they're kind of more of a plastic. They're not paper, but you can write on them. I wouldn't write on like with inky. But they are translucent, but they're nice because they're plastic, kind of, and you don't, they don't rip. Okay. And I got them off of Amazon. So now, what I'm going to do, and I still think that looks a little crooked. I should have started with that. I should have done a die with it, like just a square die, but that's okay. You guys get the idea, right? All right, so now you can take this and put it on the inside of the yellow. Or you know what, I'm going to use liquid so I can kind of maneuver it around a little bit. So just kind of slide that in there. You can still see all your little stitching around that. And now we're going to put it on here. They do. My magnet sheets. Gail, on my blog, which is marciebeseckerdesigns.com, there's a link on the bottom right hand side that is for Stampin' storage. And they are the best way. I have used every way under the sun to store my dies. and they are by far the best way I've ever did my dies. And they're nice and hard, and they're nice and firm. I've done magnets. I've done magnets from Amazon. I've done vent covers. I've just done so many different ways, and that is just the best way. I've never been sorry by doing that. Oh, Erin, you're so sweet. Okay, so now that just adds a little more color. You notice I did not do that on this one, but only because I was doing so many of them. I almost cheated and got a punch out instead of using this die, but I really thought this just really added a lot to the card by using these dies. So I didn't cheat and get a punch out and take the fast way out. But I also did not layer up the 3 colors, which I think is really pretty. So, all right, so let's look at, here we are, my dimensions. Oh, you know what I did is I think I did one big one in the middle, but then I just did the little ones. But I'm going to use these up. We're down to, I have so many of these that I put on the backs of the butterflies that I'm just about done with a whole stack of these. This is more than it needs, but we're going to use this up. All right. And then when I'm done with this, I'm going to show you guys how I created my watercolor paper and some different ideas and tips and tricks. I had a downline here the other day asking me about it, and then I had a couple other ideas about that. Also on Tuesday, I was asked on my last video how or what I do with my cards, and I'm going to show you some ideas. Well, one of my main ideas that I've been wanting to do, I've done in the past, I haven't done in a long time. Yeah, I did use the Avery L envelopes for a long time. Oh, if you want to get rid of those magnet cardboard pieces, Carol, please let me know. If they're this size, the 5 by, I think this is 5 by 7. I list below, I think, the size that I use. So I love these. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is pull out my butterfly. And I just like the large one on here. You could do some smaller ones, but sometimes I find that I try to take my cards and I try to add too many different colors. And sometimes just like the 3 color scheme is perfect. And so that's what I'm going to stay with. And I'm going to take my edge here and just put it along for my butterfly. All right, we're going to put that on here. Now we're going to, what else? We got to bring in our rhinestones. I used to, Feline, put my dies in with my stamp set. And instead, because there's so many dies now that can go with a lot of things that have labels and different stuff, I don't put them together anymore because then I'll miss out on using them for other projects because they've really changed up the dies to go with a lot of different things. And so that's what I've tried to do is just change. Where do I want this? I don't like it. Like, we're just going to put that there. I don't like it like so close. I like it to where you have to look for it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Wink of Stella, and this one's almost empty. I'm going to go ahead and use my Post-it note here. And I'm going to open my Wink of Stella. And I like to just kind of squeeze it a little to make sure the glitter is really coming out, because otherwise it's going to be wet but not super glittery, and I want it to be really glittery. So I'm just going to go down the sides of my butterfly, and if you pull it out a little like this, you don't have to squeeze it. You don't want it to run all over. But now I am going to squeeze a little, and I'm going to take my tool and just kind of tap like this. I'm going to pick up what I've squeezed out so I don't waste it. And I'm just going to glittery it up. And I don't care where it goes on the card. See, like if it's in there, that does not bother me at all. But look how pretty that is. And now it's all glittery. Yes, Erin, it is. So the DSP, let me find my package here. What did I do with my large package? I just had. Yeah, so this DSP here, let me get rid of this. And then I'm going to show you some watercoloring anyway, really quick. So we don't have to go watch football, right? Okay, so this piece right here, you just pull in the large die and it goes right here. So you get 8 sheets in a package of this. So 8 sheets in each package. So I used, before I do my watercoloring, let me show you what I've got here. I used 1 full sheet plus the 8 sheets in my second package to do butterflies, but I have at least that left in my little box here, so I probably didn't need to do that, but I wanted to make sure. But let me show you these again really quick, just to get some ideas. So this is the one we just did. This one's probably one of my favorites. And then here are some others. And I did some differences with the flowers, so I'm just going to start layering these on top of each other. Super fun. Like I said, I'm not as big of a fan of the black because I really like the soft colors. But there they are. And I did a bunch of other ones in different colors. And I have not added my sequins or anything like that on most of these. So I just kind of... And I liked it all to be a little note because, and then of course I did, the inside. I either matched it with this or this for the most part, unless I ran out. And then, oh, see, there's my extra pieces. And then what I did is, see this one I put 2 little ones on. So don't be afraid to just change it up. But I can add happy birthday in these. I can add thinking of you. Let's have lunch. Let's go shopping. The things we used to do. Here's one like we did today, but I haven't finished it. And I did that one in the Coastal Cabana. So you can see the difference there. But if you add the glitter and the rhinestones, it just really finishes the card. And now I have a bunch of this paper that I can make the envelopes too. So there are just a bunch that I did. A lot of them I did the same just because I really liked the colors. And then I did some in, okay, there's another one in the Flirty Flamingo. Carol, what I did do is once I cut this out, this piece right here on both sides, I cut them off so that I could use them on the inside of the card, or I can turn it over. So watch, let me just do this really quickly for you. So when you have this like this, you're going to have this much left over on each side. So it can be a trim on the inside like I did, kind of like, you know, right there. You could also even probably turn it and do a landscape later, but you can also turn it over and you're going to get this on the side. So yeah, I did not waste it. I did not keep the top or the bottom portion because the die pretty much, you know, was so close to the edge, but I definitely did keep these two sides, and that's where you're going to see a bunch of pieces like this in there. But I think I used a lot of them for the insides of my cards. But yeah, I did keep those. But I think at one point, instead of cutting up more card bases, I put that in. But here they are. Here's a bunch of them. So that's about the size you're going to get. These are the sides. So I hope that made sense. But yep, nope, I did not get rid of them. I'm going to use them for something. They make a great border on the inside of the card. And even if it's too little and you think that's not big enough, you can add your solid color. So for example, you could add your, you know, a little panel of this and then top it off with that for the inside of the card, just so you have something to add. So nope, I did not throw that away. I'm going to get every bit of use out that I can of these. So anyway, that's these. That's what I did. Here's just the last couple. Again, I did these. I really liked these. And so I just kind of changed it up and made a bunch. And so because this year I mentioned that I really want to do the Happy Mail, I decided that I was just going to make a bunch, and I could just send them out and say, thinking of you. I heard you had a bad day or week or whatever, or congratulations or whatever. I'll have them handy. I also thought this would be kind of fun. Like I mentioned the other day, there's a senior facility, well, several of them in town, but there's one very close to me I thought of checking with and doing just some cards and making these really just thinking of you cards. I thought they would be a fun spring kind of card. And oops, I just put the card in that we made. But anyway, where did it go? This one. So that is kind of what I'm going to do, is do a lot of Winkastelling today. Oh yeah, definitely. So let me show you a couple of ideas. My downline was asking me about watercoloring and what I do. So let me show you how I do it. I have some pre-cut paper here, and there's several different ways I do it. So let me show you. Okay, so the first thing I do is I have a craft mat that's very well loved. So I'm just going to do a simple color. We'll do balmy blue. And so I'll just add a little puddle of ink on my paper. And then I usually have a, I like to use this because it used bigger drops. It's not a spray like our spritzer does, is a little more of a mist. And so, and I like to just slowly squeeze and get droplets on here so they don't go all over the place. And I do quite a bit of water. And then let me find my pencil here. I just rearranged my desk area, so let me see what I can find. I just kind of decided to do this at the last minute, so let me see what I have here. So here's an old one, but so I just kind of move this around and get my ink here. And now there's a couple things I'll do. The first thing I do is I spray my water. So this is where you could use your mister. This is not it's not like a silicone sheet like ours. It's just called a craft mat. And it's just kind of a thin, it doesn't go through. It's by Ranger, I think. You could use your silicone mat, although it's kind of small. So I'm just going to spray, and I get it pretty wet because it's watercolor. And there's a couple things you can do. You can start adding color like this. Okay, so you can just kind of add it like this. It depends on what kind of look you're getting. And because this is really wet, you could do that. And then you get like a variegated kind of water look. Let me see if I can get my camera over here a little bit better. Now you could also dip it. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to do this, and then I take my heat tool and I am going to dry it. And while you're doing this, it doesn't have to be super dry, but by drying it, you're allowing your water to layer up. All right, so you want to okay, so for the most part, that's dry. We're going to do a little quick version here. And now I'm going to take a dryer, like a tissue, and just kind of soak up. But see how it started to drip, and you're getting yourself some look there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in. Okay, so now we have more layers. And the whole thing is to be patient. All right, so once you see that this is kind of drying, you can see now that it looks like it's layered. And you could either blow those back in, or you could just tap them, because I like how it gives that look. So I know distressed inks is like a big thing, but you could do this same thing with Stampin' Up. Okay, so I'm going to add a little more water, and I'm going to pick up what we've got, and I'm going to get a little more on the edge down here. All right, so now you can see it's starting to layer up. Yes, Jennifer, I'm going to show you actually another trick that's kind of the same thought as a wax paper. All right. So if you hold it down, you can kind of see a shadow of where it's drying. And basically you just want to make sure that you're layering it up versus making a mess, especially if you're using different colors. If you're using different colors, then you definitely want to give it some dry time. All right, so what I mainly want to show you is how to get that distressed look. So again, we're just layering it up. And now I'm going to leave this partially wet, because I'm going to come in with my dry towel and see how I'm picking up some of the darker spots. Okay. Now watch this. So now it's pretty dry. And now you're going to take your, you know what, I'm going to dry it one more time real quick. And it just depends on what look you're going for. I wanted the butterflies to have a lot of depth and some different color. And don't worry, because your paper will start to fold. And you can see, like, if I go on the back, it starts to fold towards it. So it kind of goes towards the heat a lot of times. All right. but it'll straighten itself out. But now you take this and you squeeze lightly. And I just want to get some drops on here. That's why I use this. You could open it up, like you could open our spritzer up and just kind of tap and get what you want. But I just like to take this and lightly squeeze and get my water droplets where I want them. And then I let them sit there for a little bit. Then I come back in with my dry towel and I start picking up. See how you're getting that distressed look? So that is how I started getting this look for the butterflies. And so I can cut these out and just have different colors and have a different look on the butterflies. Okay, the other way to do it, which if you don't have a craft sheet, and my downline that I think you're still watching, when you were here, this is one of the things I had told you, is, let's get the craft mat out of the way. Oh, I took my mat, I took my paper. And then you can get an acetate sheet. And basically it's the same, but I'm going to show you a different technique with this. You could do your paper, your ink. I used to do a lot of mixed media and I really liked it. But so there's a lot of different ways you could do stuff. You're going to wet that pretty good, but you're going to wet your card also. And I'm doing it over the trash can. That's where it's at. And then you're going to take this, you can pick this up and just lay it on there and pick it up like that. Okay, you're going to get your images on here, and you don't have to get it this wet. You can take it in another piece and pick up your paper and just do it like this. And I have not wet my paper yet, and I probably should have, but I had a lot of water on there. So it depends on what kind of look you're going for. Okay. And you could just keep taking your acetate and just kind of put it around where you want your color. Right, ink smushing, exactly. So it just depends on kind of what look you want. This was drier, this was wetter. It just really, really depends on what you're looking for. So what I'm going to do is dry this one. If you're changing colors, like we're going to change a color. So when you change colors, you just really want to get it pretty dry. And I don't mind these drips, so just kind of move them and get them where you want them. And you can also just blot them off. Just get the card pretty dry where you... Alright. Okay, so iCloud is wanting to update right now. Let me see if I can get out of that. There we go. Okay. Alright, so... And remember, this is all water-based, so now if it goes through here, I'm not really concerned about it. All right, so now let's add, I'm going to do Night of Navy. So just smush. That's a lot of ink. I really this is really inky. So I really didn't need that much. So I think I'm just going to wipe some off because that is really a lot of ink. All right, so now I'm not going to touch this. I'm going to re-ink my card. Re-water it. And it's pretty much where it's at because it's dried there. But I'm going to, and my finger was wet, but that's okay. And you can just kind of spread it around because you're smushing, right? Get what you want. And you can just keep, I had a lot of ink on there. I shouldn't have had that much, but you get the idea that you can just continue layering it up. And this reminds me of that purpley, like this, butterfly. I had way too much ink on there, but you get the whole idea. So the whole idea is make sure you dry in between, because that's where you're going to start. You don't want the colors to muddy up. Okay, so now I'm going to wet that because it was still wet. My card was dry. And so you can now start really sopping up the color and get, you know, just a different variation. So I hope that helped a little bit about how to do some different, you just want to find something that, like I said, your silicone mat would work, but it is, to me, I preferred leaving that just to be the silicone mat for glue and stuff. But an acetate sheet would work perfect. Even old ones that come off the top of the stamps, even saran wrap, anything like that would work. You just want something that's going to hold your color and it not soak up your paper. If it was just completely on here, it would just soak it up really bad, and you don't want that. So I hope that helped. Stampin' Up! Really does have the most amazing product for sure. All right, so just a little bit more about this. Don't forget that the paper is exclusive. It's a short time. It's going to be gone. It's while supplies last. It is available March 2nd, and so you want to make sure you grab that before it's gone. Don't forget to use your dye on your paper because it makes beautiful, beautiful butterflies. Thank you, Erin. The chicks are still available and they are so adorable. Yes, one of the sets is on back order, but it's coming and you can still order it. So you'll get your celebration item. Don't forget, celebration is it's going to be close. It's going to end soon. So make sure you get all your product in that you need and want so that you can get all the celebration items that you want. I do too. Those chicks are so cute. Now I have some more fun. Oh, another tip for this. What I like to do is just set a stamp set or something on these. I tend to do these at night before I go out and make dinner or whatever. And so what I do is I just lay something firm on there, your Stamparatus, anything that will just hold them and keep them flat. And then the next morning they're all dry. Even if you layer them up, they dry quickly. Oh, good, Jennifer. Perfect, Carol. I'm glad. Always, you guys, I am wanting to grow my team. If you would please consider joining my team, I'd love to have you. And the special is only for the rest of the month, and you're going to get that great color on color paper. So don't miss out on that. When you go to my blog, you can shop directly from here on the right hand side where it says shop my online store, and my store is marciebeseckerdesigns.com. And right below that is always the current host code. So if you could just grab that, copy it, and you can take it right in shopping with you, that'd be awesome. Thank you, Jeannie. You know, it's interesting. I've mentioned before that I don't really like doing online classes just because I like to share what I know And so another demonstrator told me to do the little $ thing, donate, whatever, at the bottom. So if you're ever inclined to do that, that would be awesome too. That helps me with product and items and all that. I know I'm going to be doing a giveaway on Tuesday, so be looking for that. And good, Christine. So be looking for that. I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to be doing an idea on what I do with my cards. I haven't done it in a long time, but I'm going to come back to doing that, and how I donate or get rid of my cards that I create. So we'll be doing some of that. Oh, good, Kayleen. You're going to be happy that you did. So that'll be on Tuesday. So today's Sunday. Yes, that'll be Tuesday. I will not be here tomorrow. I've been here 3 days in a row. You guys are probably sick of me. So, but I will be back on Tuesday. Bye, Carol. Thank you, Feline. I really do appreciate you guys sharing, subscribing, liking. It really does help my channel, and it makes a big difference. And there might be some people out there crafting that don't know. I've been making a few new stamper videos too, so hopefully that's going to help some people that maybe need some questions answered. Oh, Tashana, you're sweet. Christine, I agree. I'm welcome to the new people. I'm so glad that you're chatting and saying hi. I know there's a lot of people hiding that don't like to say anything. When I go to videos, I don't always say something. Sometimes because there's people on there that know me, and I want the person that's working to get, the attention. Sometimes I do. Oh yes, do a replay Tuesdays at 2 o'clock for me. But I always do a thumbs up. I always, because I know what it takes to go into doing a video. Not just the guts to do it, which took me a long time, but all the stuff in the background, getting everything done, and it's a lot of work. It really is a lot of work. In addition to your team and card making just for relatives and people you need to mail cards to. So I always get a thumbs up. Oh, Kayleen, I appreciate that. Carol, thanks. I appreciate you guys so much. I really do look forward to these days. I have a lot of fun with you guys. I know some people don't like chatting. Then maybe I'm not your person to watch, because I do like to chat with my people. I say my people, not my people, but my people that are watching. Oh, thank you, Feline. So this is my host code for this month. I'd appreciate any orders. If there's anything, no order is too small. I would really appreciate it. If you are considering ordering these adorable chicks, again, for a $50 order with my host code, you've got to use my host code. And I would appreciate that. I would send you the PDF on these cute, adorable cards. And if you purchase one of the chick sets, I will send you the PDF and the card kits for these 2 cards, along with a surprise card kit for you also. So don't miss out on that. My Facebook page is Marcie Besecker Designs. I'd love it if you guys go over there and join. I try to give a notice, updates and different things over there. I might say I'm going live. I might say what specials are coming, or even maybe what I'm going to work on. You're welcome, Olivia. Thanks, Tashana. Debbie, Feline, Erin, you guys are sweet. So don't miss out on those cute little chicks. And if you guys want to go to my blog, it's marciebeseckerdesigns.com. I'd love to have you over there. That's where all the measurements and that kind of stuff's going to be. And of course, I'd love to have you join my team. Right now is the perfect time. Quick note on joining the team. So the end of the month is coming. The end of the special is coming. Something to think about, and I've mentioned it before, I believe, but if you're joining now, you're in the middle of a quarter. So you're going to have until the end of June. So some people are like, I don't think I can do $300 by the end of June. The new catalog is coming. We're going to be able to see it in April. And it's available to the demonstrators in May. And I believe then it's going to be going live, and you're going to surprise yourself at how you can stay current just to get a discount for yourself. You don't have to do videos. You don't have to share it with people if you don't want to. If you do post on your page, post and they will come. Let them know you're doing it. Let them know, especially after this, once this mess is over, people are going to want to get together and socialize. It may take a little time, but you have time. So give it a try. You have nothing to lose. You're going to gain $26 in product, 200 sheets of DSP, a great discount. You get a free paper pumpkin, and you'll get a great company and community to be a part of, and you can make it what you want. That's what I like about it. Yes, Karen, when you go and you sign on to do a workshop, there's a button that says host code. So click on that and it will create a host code for you. Then save that party to stay open, because when people go put your orders in, it will accumulate in that party, and it's only good for 30 days. So you'll have to close it out and reopen a new one. I always do it at the beginning of the month. Some people do several a month if they've got a huge amount of customers and you've already met your quota to get your 50% off item or whatever you're looking for, then you can create another party. Oh, I'm sorry you can't get a hold of her. Oh, Carol, you're so sweet. Thank you. Yes, I got mine too. The paper's amazing. I'm going to actually do another group of cards like I did with these, um, with the DSP, not the butterflies, but something with the DSP that we were able to get that demonstrators can get now. We had to buy it, but it was so worth it. So if you can get it yourself by becoming a demonstrator, why not do that? So, Karen, I hope that made sense. So when you go create a party, it'll say host code and then click on that, but save that party because that is the code you're going to share. People will put their orders in, it will go into that workshop, and then you're going to close that out after 30 days or at the end of the month, whatever you're choosing to do. And then you will become the hostess of that party. And that's what helps me get my giveaways and things like that, and my extra stuff that I use that I, do on videos and stuff that I might just use up and not use on a card but show or demonstrate. So I hope that helps you. You're welcome. Message me if you have any more questions, if you need help. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out. I know a lot of you left after the card because you knew how to watercolor maybe, or you didn't hear that I was doing it. And this was the card we created today. We had a lot of fun. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm going to go to Starbucks and cash in my star rewards. And I have to go to the store. Not so fun. All right, everybody. See you Tuesday. Bye.